ABC, just wanted to do my top 10 records of all time that I own. So buckle up. All right, so here we are. We're talking about my top 10 records that I own on vinyl. Doesn't necessarily mean it's my top 10 favorite albums of all time. These are just the ones that I actually own. There are many albums, I'm sure, in the years to come that I will want to own and I will look at purchasing. We'll start with Al Green. This is in no particular order, by the way. This is I'm Still in Love with You from 1972. Really one of a number of classics. I would put it at about like all-time drop-dead undisputed classics. Between 72 and 73, you got this, you got Let's Stay Together, you've got Call Me. All three of those albums are kind of undisputed classics. But even if you go back to 1970 and go up to 76, 77, literally, if you're not into Al Green, you could literally pick up any album and it's all great stuff. This, I think, is his best, and it's also my favorite. Obviously, you've got the title track. You've got Simply Beautiful. If you want to check it out, that song is just it's sensual, friends. It's sensual. Yeah, the whole album, One of These Good Old Days, the whole album is fantastic. So, again, these are in no particular order, but this is my first one. By a man who looks, frankly, impeccable in white, with a white background. I mean, that's Al Green. Number two, we're talking about the OJ Ship Ahoy, obviously produced by Gamble and Huff. Excellent vocal group, a lot of gospel-y vibes, a lot of semi-disco things going on, but really lush production. Ship Ahoy, the title track, obviously is about slavery, and yet just an epic song. The whole album is great. One that you might recognize from this one is For the Love of Money. I mean, everybody's heard For the Love of Money, but this album is really so much more than that. I mean, you got Your Hooks in Me, Now That We've Found Love. A lot of rap songs in the 80s and the 90s. They just stole the hooks directly from this record, including, by the way, this look at this gatefold. Oh, classic, and obviously, how cool are those dudes? Anyway, this I consider this an entry point if you are interested in checking out the OJs. This is their best album, in my opinion. All right, we're going to Astral Weeks by Van Morrison. I'm not the hugest Van Morrison fan, but this is just an otherworldly album. There's really nothing like this in his catalog. It's really kind of jazzy, but it's also kind of it's real light and kind of almost improvised, but in just a stunning way. Like I say, it's otherworldly. This album is, I think, his benchmark. He never really did anything like this again. But this one, I think, is almost a must for anyone. It's a fantastic Sunday record if you're chilling out. Nothing beats, of course, Astral Weeks from 1968. 1 year later, 1969, we've got Syl Johnson's Is It Because I'm Black? Which is, in my opinion, one of the most overlooked of the epic soul LPs. I consider it along the lines of it's not epic in length, but every song on it is good. And, I would consider it really a classic along the lines of like a Hot Buttered Soul or a What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. Syl, fantastic performer. All of his records. He was also on the High Records label in the 70s. There's a great documentary. I think it's called Syl Johnson, Any Way the Wind Blows. Fantastic. And again, Is It Because I'm Black? Ooh, painful, gritty, funky, amazing song. It's really got to be heard, the title track. Also from 1969, we've got Fleetwood Mac, Then Play On. A lot of people, know Fleetwood Mac specifically for Rumors, but I think it's about 8 years earlier, they were an entirely different band with just a stunning guitarist name of Peter Green. This is the last LP with Peter Green. I have said before that I think this is one of the best hard rock records ever made. It's not a perfect album, but there are just definitely moments on this record that are just absolutely outstanding. Close My Eyes is amazing. Like Crying. There's a couple of songs, Searching For and Fighting for Madge, that are just like this epic guitar versus guitar jam out. It's like a battle of axes. Fantastic stuff. This is from 1971. This is Aretha Franklin's Live at Fillmore West. I think it's probably the best live album ever made. You got Billy Preston on keyboards. Fantastic drumming. All the playing and the background vocals and everything on this are just fantastic. I mean, and then of course you've got Aretha, absolute peak Aretha. I have nothing negative to say about this. This is, I think, not only that, but also if you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. I think it's the definitive version, dare I say it, with obviously much respect to the Isley Brothers, who also have a semi-definitive version. For 1966, this is Lightfoot. This is the debut LP for Gordon Lightfoot. A lot of non-Canadians don't know a tremendous amount about Gordon Lightfoot. This, of course, is his debut semi-self-titled album. I remember the first time I listened to this, I was like, oh man, what's with him covering all these folk classics? And then I realized, oh, he wrote all those folk classics. And yeah, just a fantastic album all the way through, but side one is super strong. Early Morning Rain, he does a cover of Changes that's just absolutely like heart-rending. This is a great Sunday record, a great chillin' record. Love it. A little bit of a newbie here. This is Truth is a Beautiful Thing by London Grammar. London Grammar is this is from 2017. London Grammar is a band that you will either love or you will hate. Hannah Reid, the lead singer here, just her voice is outstanding. Just, it's something else. She's very histrionic. So, I don't know. This is something you got to listen to. I would say key tracks on this one. I would try like Big Picture, Oh Woman, Oh Man. Held to the Liars is a stunner. Everything that these guys do is often just outstanding. But this record in particular is great. This is 1970s Little Feat, the self-titled debut by the band Little Feat. I listened to this for basically about a year, where I would listen to it almost every Friday. It was my kick off the weekend kind of record. I know a lot of people love other Little Feat, and they're like, oh, this is kind of the redheaded stepchild of their records. I disagree wholeheartedly. I think that this is their best album. I also think they never did anything even coming close to the quality of this album. Yeah, I mean, Snakes on Everything, Truck Stop Girl, but the whole disc is really good. You got Ry Cooder doing some guesting. It's apparently the lead singer Lowell George broke his fingers or something, probably some kind of booze accident. Anyway, wow, great record. And yeah, let's finish up the top 10 with one of the best double albums ever. This is Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street. Obviously, most people know the story. Sum up, they're exiled for tax reasons in France. They get a bunch of people together. They do a lot of drugs. They record a double album, and it's one of the best ever. And probably is really the last fantastic document of guitarist Mick Taylor, who in my opinion was, the guy was just, to me, all of the records that he's on in the Stones collection, you have to have. You just must. So yeah, that is my number 10 or number 1. Again, these are not in order. But again, thanks for tuning in. I hope you liked the 10. If you're still here, like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.